we were going to give to women. Women have the privilege and absolute advantage, biological advantage, which of reproduction, but that then plays havoc with their health issues.
Family planning as a state policy, then the question comes that what about the integrity, reproductive rights, reproductive health, and reproductive freedom of women?
And it is so important to talk about mindsets right at that time, to basically give them a platform where you bring about a lot of the conditioning, the biases, etc.
It's a time basically to raise the occasion, and rather than chasing the mission statements, let's chase the purpose statements.
This story is a bias, and it is happening, as Ravi said, it is not only in the marginalized communities, it is happening in the best of the case. And this is what we try to take action against.
Why do you believe that a collaborative initiative and is critical to almost build a movement around women's and also men's sexual and reproductive rights? And why should the industry be a core champion of this?
It is not going to be a one-off. It's going to be a series of discussion and series of continuously engaging with each other. Collaboration is the name of the game, and collaboration for future is, we are already into it, and we will certainly strengthen it further.
To start with, industry has a role to play. We all are the catalyst.
Would love to just hear from you about the role that Reckitt, but also the larger corporate ecosystem can play to really embrace this concept of sexual and reproductive health as an integral part of the workplace.
So change starts from the top, and change should start soon. It should not be just, in the pipelines. And many times people do ask me about the vision statements, but what are important. One of the very important trait in the leadership space is the care. Care for your people, care for the women, care for those who are, differently abled, care for those who are less privileged. And care should not be a privilege. Care should be a right. Pops up during this 8th of March, but this should be there at the heart and in the mind. And it should not be a sudden, explosion of these thoughts of inclusivity and inclusion and women health agenda. We should live by that, and we should serve by that.
One thing that we are talking about today is this whole notion of bias, right? So how bias informs our everyday practice as development programmers, as researchers, etc.
There are two B's, I believe, that we all need to constantly work out. One B is biases, and another B is behavioral change. Ability of resources to women act in a huge way in fighting against a lot of biases.
I would definitely work, because I work with adolescents and young kids, definitely work towards seeing how that can be incorporated into the curriculum of their regular, education, how one can work with the government. And if there are any corporates who would want to work with people like us, or any other who are working with young people, to make this a normalized kind of an education.
The ways how we do the more gender responsive programming, rather than just talking about the woman alone. And we need to see it glass half full.
And now we are talking of Beti Bachao, but are we talking about Beto ko padhao? Yes, change the mindset of men. So I think both the things have to happen.
How do we create an alliance? Everyone's committed, everyone's interested, you're all doing fantastic work. How do we work together? And how do we work with not just the audience that's here today, but a larger audience that we plan to reach out to and engage?
I think on women's issues, the reason we have made 2 steps forward and 1.5 steps backwards and maintained the gains, half a gain that we have made, we keep working on maintaining it, because we have not worked collectively. The government, the corporate sector, the NGO sector, and civil society. No change can happen. Today, even a government can't run without a collaboration.
To have a network maybe of, a place where there is a depository of all the people doing work in different areas of sexual reproductive health, and see whether we can collaborate and say, okay, I'm doing this, but I need this from you, and just be ready to share.
We have to learn from each other, and we have to learn not only what works, what doesn't work.
All of the ideas and the perspectives that we receive from all of you, put people at the center of it, put the woman at the center of it, let her voice inform a lot of the programming. Let's collaborate at scale, use data, use financial metrics to really talk about why this is the right thing to do, the smart thing to do, and really build sort of alliances at scale.